Good morning. So let's give about some few let's say 3 5 minutes for more people to join so that we can start. And please do all to refrain from asking for like example is say please will this come into exams. Please do all to refrain from asking for those yes answers or asking those kind of questions. Thank you. Hello, class. Good morning. I trust everybody's well. I think 12 minutes it's enough, so we could start now. Those who will join may join. Let me share my screen. Yes, let me share my screen. Good. So, all right. So, good morning once again. Today, we seek to look at loops as our major. All right. Here, we look at loops, and then lastly, we would look at arrays, and then we end this class. It's going to be a very short class. I'm sure that in an hour time, we should all be done. Yeah, in an hour time, we should be done. So, firstly, we are going to start with loops. So, what is a loop? When we say a loop in C++, let me create a comment here. So a loop in C++ is basically a control structure, right? I made mention of control structures. I made mention of conditional statement being control structures, and then loops also being control structures. So loops are basically control structures that allow a block of code to be executed repeatedly, right, based on a specified condition. So the advantage with loops here is that it helping us doing something that we could manually be doing, yes, in an automatic way. It's basically helping simplify everything, right? So in C++, you have some loops available. We have the while loop, you have the do while loop, and then you have the for loop. You have other advanced ones also. But the goal of this course is to introduce you to these basic ones for now: the while loop, the do while loop, and then the for loop. And then from there we are going to look at the arrays also. So as made mention earlier, loops basically is a control structure, right, that helps you execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is reached. And then loops, as I said, it helps us replace some manual processes. Through that, it helps us to save time. A typical example is this. Before I explain this, you have a question that is asking you to write a C++ program that prints numbers from let's say 1 to 30. Yeah, 1 to 30. So with the manual process, that what basically would have happened is that you'd have to come here, or you have to come down, and then come and do C out. So you have to do C out, C out 1, C out 2, so C out 1, even as a string. So C out 1, then you end line, and you do save for multiple times. So you are going to do C out, C out, C out, which is going to be lengthy because you have to do C out 1, C out 2, C out 3. So loops basically helps simplify this. So this typical example using while loop, you just have to come in. You have to say while let's say the condition, let's say I or let's say A is less than 30. Or let's say Y is less than 31. You just come and say, okay, sure. See out A and line. So let's say you have a variable called int A, which is equal to let's say 0, right? Okay, even I think we are doing from 1 to 30, so one should do. So when I compile and then execute this code, what is going to happen is that I'm going to have a program that is going to print out numbers from what is happening. Okay, see out A, and then we'll do I and do A plus plus A. So when I compile and execute this program, basically what's going to happen is that it's going to see out numbers from 1 to 30. Can you see my other screen, the black screen? If you can see, kindly let me know. That is the compile screen. Just give me a chat, something there for me to refer to. Okay. All right, then let me share my entire screen. Kind of mind we am up you na. I'm inclusive me and you may be na. Mind we am. All right. Okay. Well noted. So I'm going to share my entire screen so that you can also see that. Okay. Let me share my entire screen. Share, share, share. I think the other screen can be seen now, right? So when I compile and then I run this, screen two. Is it clear now? I believe that you cannot see the screen now, right? You cannot see the screen now, right? And then we are not doing arrays now, we are doing loops. After loops, you come to an array, so don't worry. So let's finish with the loops, the basic loops, and then from there. I believe that you cannot see, right? You can see um, the the console app or the console app open here, and then also the codes, right? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so instead of having to have typed C out one, C out two, C out three, C out four, C out five, C out six, what happens is that we just write this short line of code. And then this line of code is going to ensure that this question gets answered. It writes a C++ program that basically prints out numbers from what 1 to what 30, as we can see here. So that is basically how or the advantage of loops for us. It helps us save time, reduce errors, and then they make code more readable. So it replaces some manual processing with an automatic process. All right, so let's try to understand the first loop that we have here. Now we have a number, right? You can see that we have initialized a variable here, right? The variable's name is what? A, and then it has a value 1. And then you have a next thing here, which is the while loop. Now the syntax, as for every other thing in C++, there is a way to write it, or there's a way to express it. We call that syntax in every other language. So with C++, in order to express the while loop, you first have to write the keyword while, followed by a parenthesis. And in the parenthesis, you're going to have the condition that is supposed to be checked. And then for the while loop, we are saying that the block of code would will be looped through. That is this code or this action will be done as long as this condition is true. This action keeps on doing. Then this is the action. The action is that we are saying that we should see out of A. And then next time you see A plus plus. Basically, when you see A plus plus, it's what we call an increment operator. Now, what an increment operator is doing, what is happening here is that it's going to add the value of 1 to the current value of A. Okay, so a typical example, let me just change here to 5. Let's make this simple. Let's have A to be 0 here. Now, what you are going to do, you are going to see out, you are going to print out numbers 0 to 5. So let me compile and run this here. Now you can see here. So when we say A plus plus, what is happening is that a value of 1 is being added to the current value of what? A. So here, let's go through this code. What's the value of A initialized? It is what? 0, right? Now the while loop comes to check for the condition. And while A is less than 5, what should happen? It should see out what the value of what? A. Now here, we are saying that for the while loop, as long as the condition is true here, the block of code will be continuously executing or will keep on executing. So here, what is the current value of A, which is 0, right? It's 0. So 0 here, we know that 0 is less than 5. So what will happen? To see at the current value of A, which is 0, which we have here. Okay, this current value of 0. Now, A plus plus will basically add one value to A, or a number 1 to A. And then the number is what? The current A value is 0. So it adds 1 to it, making A what? 1. And then it comes here again to check for the condition. A is less than, while A is less than 5. And then what is the current value of A, which is 1? Is it less than 5? Is true. Then you see out what the current value of A, which is what? 1. That is why we have this one here. Now it comes back here again. As another value because it's saying A plus plus, which is the increment operator. It's basically adding 1. When you see A minus minus, it means what? It's what? A decrement operator. It is taking minus from the value of A. Please, can you see? Can you see my screen? I'm seeing somebody saying that they can't see. Could you confirm for me? Are you all seeing the screen? Lawrence, I think you should check You should check. You should check. Henry, Henry, you can't see. Some are saying, oh, okay. So some are saying, oh, it's blur. You can't see that well. I think if it's blur, then the problem is that, let me show you. Some of you, your problem is that on your YouTube app, the quality for streaming has been probably downgraded to, let's say, to 360 pixels, right? That is why you're having that problem, or your network is bad. So what you have to do is that um you're going to see is it a star or a kind of certain button, and then you select that. Lawrence, you might try logging out and then accessing the link, because most people are seeing that. So please, those of you who are seeing this blur, increase your quality. Okay, you can do 4K, 1080, 720. I think those will help you. So you just have to select the. You are going to see what do you call it? Um, is there a certain button there at the right corner, up there, right corner by the subtitle? You select that. You are going to see quality. Change the quality. You can choose a higher quality so that you will be able to see. I think 720 is the higher quality. So you choose that. It changes for you. And then some of you also, you have how do you call it, a smaller screen. What you have to do is that you might have to tilt your screen, so auto rotate your screen so that it becomes visible for you to see. Okay, you can also use a laptop. A laptop is going to give you a better option than a phone with a smaller screen. Okay, thank you, Lawrence. Thank you. Anyway, I'm going to have a short Zoom interaction session after this class, so don't worry. The classes so that everybody can join. We beat the limitation to the Zoom platforms and everything. All right, so let me come back to the loop. Now I'm starting from where we declare the variable again. So um, you can all benefit. Those who are not able to see can all benefit. Movies are. Will you pay for a premium service for us on Zoom so that we can host? If you have a premium app, then we can host over 100 people on Zoom for a limited time. You can share that account with us so that we do it there. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go. Let's get back to our loops. All right, so the while loop, I'm trying to explain it once again, what is basically happened. So we have initialized a variable called A, and the variable is 0. Now the question is saying that we should write a C++ program that prints out numbers from 1 to 30, right? So all you're doing here is that we expected that at the end of, or let me do 0 to 5 here. Let me do 0 to 5. So we're expecting that at the end of our program, you are going to see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in order to do that, there are two ways, which is the manual way is going to be stressful. We're going to have to do C out 1, C out 2, C out 3, C out 4, C out 5. It is going to be stressful. Imagine, or let's have in a scenario where you are supposed to print numbers from 1 to 500 or something. It basically means that we are going to write a lot of C out, right? So um, the loops basically makes it simple, right? It helps automate, it helps save some time. You just have to write just a short code and it's going to do all those work for you. So here we are dealing with the while loop first. Now in C++, the while loop is going to loop through a block of code as long as the condition here turns out to be true. So if this condition here is true, this thing will get executed. The moment it turns out to be false, it stops executing. And we are saying that for the syntax for the while loop is that you have to first type what the keyword while followed by parentheses, and in the parentheses you are going to have the condition that is supposed to be checked. So as long as the condition here is true, this block of code will keep on running. So after the condition, you bring up your curly bracket here, and then from your curly bracket, you do the execution. So in the curly bracket, you have an action that is supposed to be done. The action is that we should see out the current value of A. After that, we should use the increment operator, A++, basically adds the value of what? 1 to A. So we should use that, or we should add that to the current value of A, and then the current value of A per our code will continuously keep on increasing, and then after increasing, it's going to check the condition. If the condition is true, to still keep on increasing until the condition turns out to be false. Then it stops executing. All right, so let's come back here again. So what is happening is that you have a value of what? A, which is equal to what? 0. Initialized to be 0. So the while loop will say while A here. So while this A here is less than 5, what should happen? What should happen comes here, right? So you should see out what the current value of A, and the current value of A is what? 0, right? So is this condition true? A here is 0, right? And then we know that 0 is less than 5. So what happens? It sees out what? A. That is what we can see here. So it sees out 0. Then it comes here, A++. The increment operator basically adds a value to the current value of A. 1. That is the value 1 to current value of A. So 1 is added to what? A. Making A what? 1 now. So it comes back here. While A is less than 5, what should happen? This should happen. What is the current value of A? 1. So if the current value of A is 1, it is still less than 5. So what should happen? You should see out the current value of A, which is what? The 1 here. Then what should happen here? A++. You basically add what? 1 to the current value of A. And the current value of A, we know that is 1 here. So when we add another one, it becomes 2. Now is 2 less than 5? If yes, then this would happen again, right? Because the condition is 2 is less than 5. So the condition gets executed once again. So C out A, which makes A 2. Then we come back here again. An increment operator happens, right? A++. So we add another one value to the value of what? A, making it what? 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes, the condition is true. So we keep on executing. So we execute some 3 here. Then add another value to what? A, as you can see here. So what becomes of A? A is 4 now. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. So the condition is still true. So what happens here? It sees out the value of A, which is 4. And then that's A++. Now A becomes what? 5. Is 5 less than 5? No, it's false. Then the code stops executing. I hope it's clear. I hope the while loop is clear. Anyone that has any problem could bring it out, then I address it so that we can move on to the next loops. Anyone? Anyone with any problem, just let me know so I can move on to the next. Okay, I'm seeing something. No, it can be A plus, please. It can be A plus. It's supposed to be A plus plus. It can be A plus. So A plus plus adds 1 to the current value of A, or whatever variable that you have. If it's a number and then you type that variable and you add plus plus, what basically happens is that it's going to add 1 to that current value. And then when you do minus minus, it's going to deduct 1. Abdul Razak, running the exact code, but my terminal is blank. Could you check it well again? If you say your terminal is blank, it could be that probably you didn't declare the variable, so it has no point of reference to. You could check that out. If your terminal is not coming, it means that there is an error that you must check down here. Okay, so kindly do that again. At times too, there are compiler issues, so you just have to restart the app and then you will run it again. It could be that a tab is currently active, and then that tab is overriding the current tab that we have. So you can do that and then we see. Okay, so with the increment, you have two types of increment. You have here, I'm seeing plus, yes. So we have the prefix increment, and then you have the postfix increment. So with the prefix increment, a typical example, let me change this so you can have something like let me just put this here just to help explain that. Now, what is going to happen here is that with the prefix increment, the variable is basically increased, right? Before the value would be used in any expression. And then with the postfix increment, the original value of the variable is used in the expression before the variable is what, incremented. So, all right. So, Caleb, so your screen, I think you should either access the link again and then check that out. Okay. Because I think screen is very seeable. So let me explain the two. Okay, the post and then the pre-increment. Let me just use this to explain it. Let me use this example here. Let me cut this. Let me use a simple example here to explain it. So you have, let's say, A, right? Let's say A is equal to, let me do 5 here, right? A is equal to 5, right? And then we are saying that int B is equal to um, let's say plus plus of what, A. Now if I'm to execute this, if I say C out, let's say A. Now you would think that you are going to think that how do you say it? A, because A was initially 5, is going to C out 5. It's never going to do that. Basically, what has happened here is that because of the prefix increment, the value of A here has changed to 6 now. So here, when I compile and run this code, A is going to give me 6, B is going to give me 6. Let's try and see. Let's do this. And line. Let me come here. Let me say, let's see, C out E. So when we compile it, let me compile it, right? So as you can see here, instead of A coming out as 5, A is coming out as what? 6. Why? This is because of what we call the prefix, right? The prefix increment. What is happening is that it is basically increasing, or yes, increasing the variable before the value is used in the operation. So A here will be changed to 6 before it's even used in the operation. But with the postfix increment, what is happening here is that when I do this, and I come and I say plus plus here. Now this time around, instead of seeing out 6 for us, it's going to say that A is 5. Why? Because with the postfix increment, the original value of the variable is used in the expression before even the variable is. So what is the original variable of 5? 5 is what? What's the original variable of A? A is what? A is 5, right? So if A is 5 here, it's going to increase this A, making it what? 6. So when I see out A, instead of coming at 6 here, as we can see here, A is going to be 5 and then B is going to be 6. Let me compile and run. Let's see. Like this. So you can see here that for the first one, what happened? The value of, let me show it. What happened for the first one? The first one, A here was entirely changed even before the process. But for the second one, what is happening? You can see here that for the second one, the value of the variable is basically how do you call it? The original value, right, of the variable, which is what 5, right? As you can see, that is for the postfix. The postfix here, you can see that the original value of the variable used in the expression, right, before it's used in the expression before the variable is incremented. Hello, do you get it now? Yes, I stopped talking for a second. Sorry, I'm not that was so I had to take some water. Opori, did you get the concept of pre and then post now? Yes, it works same for the decreasing. So if I'm supposed to do minus minus here, it's going to be the same thing. So if the minus comes before the how do you call it, the variable, what is going to happen is that it becomes what, a prefix, right? If we have this, let's say if I change this here to um, minus minus, this becomes what, a prefix or decrement. If I change this, or if I bring another variable, let's say int c here, let me do this simple thing here. If I come and say int c is equal to a minus minus, it also gives us a different thing altogether. But they are basically following the same concept that we did earlier. The prefix increment, with the prefix increment, basically what happens is that the variable is incremented before the value is used in the expression. So this variable here will be changed to 4 before it's even used in whatever that we are supposed to do with it. And then for the post increment or postfix increment, what is going to happen is that the original value of the variable is used in the expression. So the change will not happen to it. It's going to be used before the variable undergoes that decrement or increment. All right. I'm glad you get that. So let's look at a simple example here. Yeah, so Ima Nonyako. So please just reverse to the live stream. You're going to have that there. Okay, well, when you're done, you can just go ahead and check that out. Okay. Unfortunately for you, the school yeah, they are writing exams, so we can't meet face to face. So just go back and then just review that. All right, so let's come back here. Let's do a simple exercise. Now, back to the while loop again. I want to write a program that is going to see out 3, 2, 1, go. a simple program using what? The while loop. How do you go about that? So first, we are declaring, let me delete this so that's a missing form. All right, so let's say count. Let me use the word count here. Okay, count down is equal to 3. So countdown equals to 3. So countdown is equal to 3. We set an initial value for countdown is equal to 3, right? We come down here and then we say while, let's say count down, right? So the condition comes in, let's say whilst count down is less than, sorry, it's greater than 0. What should happen? Say see out. Sorry. Uh, see out. Say count down. Count down. We can see the second line and line. And we come here and say a what? Minus. As we are using the postface decrement. And then when we run this code, what is going to happen is that it's just going to see out 3, 2, 1. But we also want to get that word go, or let's say start at the end. Now, the best option that you have is to do this outside the loop. So this is inside of the action is in the loop. So the best way is to have it done outside the loop. So let's say we place go here. Why is that? I'm going to explain that to you when you're done compiling and run. So let me compile and run. Let me share with you. That is where's the error? Hey, sorry, I said A. Sorry, instead of count down, say A. All right. So let me share with you. So here you can see that what happens is that when we run this code, it prints out what 3210, as you can see here. Now, what is happening behind the scene? What we just did is that we initialize the variable called countdown with what the value of what 3 as an integer, right? Then using the while loop, what did we do? We said while the condition is greater than 0. Sorry, while the condition, that is the countdown here, while the countdown is greater than 0. So this is a condition here, right? What should happen? Or while the condition is true, we should see out what the value, that is what the countdown here, right? And what is the value in the countdown now? It's 3, right? So 3, when you put 3 here, 3 will be greater than 0, right? It means that the condition is true because you're saying that for the while loop, the loop or the block of code here would keep on executing as long as what the condition is what is true. So when when I execute this code, what is going to happen is that it checks what is the current value of countdown now is 3, right? Is 3 greater than 0? Yes, it means that the condition is true. So what happens? It sees out this 3, which you can see here, 3. Then what happens after that? There's a decrement, right? That is a post decrement operator here. So what happens? It takes 1 from the value of 3, making it what 2, right? That is countdown. So countdown becomes 2 now. Is 2 still greater than 0? Yes. It means that this body of code will still keep on running, right? So it runs, sees out the current value of countdown, which is what 2, right? Then what happens?
the post decrement happens here. So it takes away 1 from the current value of countdown, which is 2, making it what 1. Becomes, is 1 greater than 0? Yes. So what happens? It sees out what countdown, and the current value of countdown is what 1. So it sees it out here. Then what? It takes -1 from the current value, which makes it 0. Is 0 greater than 0? It's false, right? So the condition becomes false. It stops executing. Now, when it stops executing, it brings out what 2, 3, 2, 1 what for us. Now, if you are to bring this here with us, the C out go here with that, what is going to happen is that it's going to run inside the loop also. So instead of having 3, 2, 1, 0 or 3, 2, 1 go as we want, what is going to happen is that it might be printing go 3, go 2, go 1 here. Why? Because we are running it alongside the loop. It means that this block of code will be executed the number of times that this condition is true. That is why we are bringing it outside of the loop. So if I'm to bring it inside of the loop, see what will happen. So let's say if I bring it anywhere here, I could bring it here, even before there. Then let me compile and run again. Let's see what happens. Let me share it with you. They say not 3 go, 2 go, 1 go, right? If you have to even bring the same thing here, you have the same thing here. Chat this and even bring it after this. Let's see what happens. Compile and run. Still gonna have what shows. Still gonna have what 3 go, 2 go, 1 go. Get it? So the block of code is going to be executed with a loop as long as the condition is all true. So what do? We bring it outside of the loop so that if the loop's conditions are met, that will be the next block of code to be executed. I hope we getting it now, right? Are we good? Let me see in the chat box. Okay. So we can move on to the next loop, right? Everybody's good. Okay. Okay. Everybody's okay, right? Please let me see in the comment section if you're okay with it so that I can proceed, please. Anyone with any problem so that we can move on to the next loop type. Anyone? Comment section. Okay. Look here. Okay. So please, are we all good? Are we all? Can I proceed to the next one? Just let me know in the comment section if you all could just give me a reaction or something in the comment section so I can proceed to the next type of loop. Are we here? Hello. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Harrison. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the next form of loops that we are going to look at is the do while loop, right? Now, the do while loop. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, so um, the do while loop is the next type of loop that we are going to look at. Now, with the do while loop, we could say that the do while loop is, should I say, an alteration. Yes, please. The do while loop is an alteration to the that is the while loop, right? So we use the word variant could do. The word variant could do here. So the do while loop is acting as a variant of the while loop. So with the do while loop, the loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is what is true. Then it will keep on repeating the loop as long as the condition is what is true. Yes, thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Subscribe, like and subscribe. Yeah. Share the link. Share the link. Share the link. Nafisa, hi Nafisa. You're unable to follow. What is the price that you just came in late? Let us know in the comment section. If you came in late, now what you can do is that this live stream, right? So you could go back and then check that out. We could reverse the video and then check that out and then follow. Okay. Like, subscribe, share the link, share the link. Thank you. All right, so let's get back on track. So unlike the while loop, what we can see here is that the while loop is basically Lisa is still not hearing from you, so I'm proceeding. So unlike the while loop, unlike the do while loop, for the while loop, what is happening is that it checks the condition, right, before the block of code is what executed here. But the do while loop is going to execute the block of code once before what the condition is what is executed. So let me do okay, let's leave this here. See something. So with the do while loop, the syntax is that you first have to type what the word what do, right? The keyword do, followed by the action that is supposed to be done. So let's say see out. Let's say let me do let's say A here, right? And so let me change this to let's say 0. All right. Let me do C. Say A plus here. Then R comes here. Now let me explain the do while loop with this. Now we can see that for the while loop, what happened? Let me post the while loop here. Let me get something to post the while loop here. Okay, let me just do this here for the while loop. Now, this is the do while loop. Okay. Now for the while loop, what can you see? This is the while loop, right? That's what I've highlighted here. Now for the while loop, you can see that the condition is checked first, right? Then after the condition gets checked, an action happens. Can you see down here? There is going to be an action. But for the do while loop, the action is happening first before the condition is getting checked here. So do this action whilst this condition stays. So the block of code, this one gets executed first before the condition is checked. So if I'm to do, let's say what we did here, earlier, what we did here earlier. So I could just do this. Let me copy this here. And to bring this here. And let's paste this here. A is less than. Alright. Else A is less than 5. So let's look at the while loop. Now in the while loop, the condition gets checked, right, before the action is done, right? But with the do while loop, what is happening is that you can see up here, the action is starting. Do what? See out A, and then the post increment operator comes before the condition is what? Checked. So this is for the do while loop. So the difference here is that one, the block of code gets executed before the condition is checked. That is for the do while loop. This will get executed first, even before this condition gets checked. But for this one, the condition will be checked before the execution what happens. I hope you are clear with that. Are we good? So for the, let me clear this. So for the do while loop, what happens is that, okay, thank you, once you're clear. Okay, so what happens here is that it's going to start executing this. Then you see how this before it checks for the condition. So this gets executed, comes to check for the condition. If the condition is true, it keeps on executing. If not, it stops executing. So this here is basically going to see out what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me compile and run this here. So what happens here? What is the current value of A? A is 0, right? So what does it do? It just sees out A, increases A, right, to 1. Then it comes to check the condition. Please, are we getting? I hope you are clear with that, right? Hope you are clear with that. Let me know if you are all clear with the the do while loop, then reaction, react, or just let me know. You can just type you're okay with that. Then we move to the for loop. What happens when you don't bring the condition? When you don't bring a condition, nothing will happen because um, 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 basically all that is going to happen is that there will be nothing to be checked for. There will be no constraint or a set of parameters to be checked for. And then the syntax is saying that if the syntax, let me just explain it verbally here. If you are writing this the while loop, the rule is saying that first first a condition should be present to be checked for, and then based on the condition the code keeps on executing. So if there is no condition, what is the block of statement being executed against? Are you getting it? Cipher, or really cipher, are you getting it? So I'm sure you just joined now, so you are confused. So the best option now is that you must, this is a live stream, so you can just go back and then just refer to that. Okay, just start from everything. All right, so Mark, I'll go over again. All right. So I hope that you understood the while loop, right? The font size is too small, so I should increase it. All right, I'm sure this should do. All right, so Mark, I'm going over again. So basically all we're saying here is that the while loop, okay, it's a kind of a loop in C++, right? The do while loop, sorry. It's a kind of a loop in C++, which is a form of like a variant to the how do you call it, the while loop that we mentioned earlier. When you say variant, basically an alteration, right, or form of diversity or change to what we had earlier. And really, let me explain this and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so Mark, I'm going over. So um, what happens here, unlike the while loop, what is happening here is that the do while loop first, that's an action, right? Before the, how do you call it, the condition is checked. The while loop, you are going to have while a something something less than 5, then the action comes. But unlike that, the do while loop will check or will start with the execution before it checks for the condition. So before the condition gets checked, this gets executed. And after it gets executed, this comes in. I hope you are getting it. So before whatever that is supposed to happen will happen, this action here is going to start first. And after this action gets started, the condition gets checked. Then if the condition is true, it keeps on executing until the condition becomes false and then it stops. Are you getting? Are we clear now, Mark? So for this example here, what is happening? We have initialized a variable a, right, of type integer with the value of 0, right? So what happens? Then we said do the keyword do, right, followed by the action. The curly bracket comes and in the curly bracket you're going to host the action. So do cout a, right? And then what happens after that? We are saying that a or plus plus, right? Then the condition will follow. While what? A is what? Less than 5, right? So basically all that is happening here is that instead of checking the condition first, unlike the while loop, and the do while loop is going to what? Execute this first, right? This block of code gets executed first before the condition is checked. So it's going to cout a, which is a 0 now, right? Then it's going to check this, then come back here, then comes to what? Check for the condition. It's going to do the increment, check for the condition, then comes back here, then executes. It's going to keep on until this condition turns out to be false. Are we good? Are we good, Mark? Hello, Mark. Are you good? All right. Okay. So what is going to happen is that it's going to be okay. You after the Zoom class, I think we should have that on the Zoom rather. Just a short session. Let me see the comment. So really, as mentioned earlier, you said the code gets executed before. Yes, that is unlike the while loop. The while loop is going to say while, let's say, a is less than 5, this happens. But the do while loop, right, is going to say do the action before the condition is coming. Now, the moment we take this from here, let's see what happens. Just let's cut this away. Okay, let's cut this away. Let me compile and run this. Let's see. Let's see what is going to happen here. It's going to tell us there is an error. Why? Because the syntax for the do while loop is saying that, the do, then the action will come, then the condition will follow. Really, I hear cipher. So if we are taking away the condition to be checked for the do while loop, what is going to happen is that there will be nothing for us to do. Let me put it this way: there will be nothing for us to execute. Are you getting me? Cipher, let me see in the comment section if you're okay. Yeah, sure, Caleb. We are going to have more examples. Okay, I'm going to have about one or two more examples then. we finish. Okay, thank you. So now we are going to learn how we are going to use. Let me use this example to teach you that how we are going to use a loop, right, to be taking in inputs. Okay, a loop that keeps on taking in a form of inputs. So in order to do that, let's use this basic example. We are going to basically write a C++ program, right? That asks a user to enter, let me say, a number, right? And then the number is supposed to be greater than what? Um, uh, 0, right? Making the number or the positive number. Now, the moment the user enters a number that is less than 0, the program should stop executing. Yes, the video will be available after classes. It will still be there for some time before I delete it. So don't be available after class. So you can refer to that. All right, so let's come back to that program. So in order to do that, you have to initialize, right? Yeah, sorry, you have to declare. Okay, it's best to declare, right? So we have declared a variable, let's say called a, right, of type integer, right? And from there, we said we are going to use the loop to take in input instead of just going C in straight and then taking in direct input this time around. We are going to use the loop to help us or take our inputs. So I say do, and what happens here? The action will come, right? So see out. Let's say we are prompting, right? I want to prompt the user to take. So let's say see out, enter a positive number, or enter a positive number and number. Okay, let's just do it positive number. All right. Let me end line here. I could end line. Now I come down here and I say scene number. Right. Then I come down here and I say let me end this. And I can come down and say wow. Let me clear this. We are using the do while loop, right? So we are saying wow number. So the number is what? A, right? Sorry, forgive me, I didn't miss this here. So the number is A. Because we are using it. So while A is greater than what? 0. Now, what is going to happen for this program is that the moment we start running this program, it is going to access, right, to enter a number, right? And then the number that we are entering, it will be giving us more options to enter more numbers, only if the number that we enter is a positive number, right? So let me even bring, since we did not limit it to, let me bring is equal to 0. Now, if the number is 0 and then above, it is going to ask us to enter more numbers. But the moment we enter a number that is a negative number, that is basically a number that is less than 0, the program is going to stop executing. So let me do this here. Let me compile and run this here first. And good. Let me take it from there. So as you can see here, the program is asking us to enter a positive number. Now when I enter 5, it's giving me more options to enter more numbers. And the moment I enter, let me do 0. 0 is still giving me, because the condition here is saying that all the number that is entered is greater than or equal to 0. It should give us more options to be entering a number. I will. So when I do 8 here, 9 here, 0 here, 0, 0 here, until I enter a negative number, it will keep on running because the condition is true. So the moment I enter something like -9, it stops executing. I'm going to leave it until after your exams. When you're done with your exams, I'll delete it. So don't worry. I might even leave it there just for record's sake. I might just leave it there. So what is I believe you understand. So what is basically happening here is that we are using the do while loop, right, to take in what? A number. Are we good? We're using the do while loop to take in what? A number. And then the number, as so far as the number is how do you call it, greater than or equal to 0, the program is going to access to, or it's going to give us more options to be inputting more numbers. And the moment the number turns out to be less than 0, it stops executing. That is because of the condition that we have here. So what happens here is when it says enter a positive number. C in A, we enter a positive number. Now it checks the number. Is the number greater than or equal to 0? It's true, right? The number is greater, 5 is greater than or equal to 0. Then it gives you another option to enter more numbers. So if the number that you enter now, instead of being greater than or equal to 0, why not would there be a question? We share the answer we Enoch for you basically then why hate Enoch. You ye just all you got Enoch. We we know more. We are in the system. Let's go. So it checks for the condition. If the number entered is greater than or equal to 0, it keeps on giving you more options to enter more numbers. But the moment the number is less than 0, right, the program will stop executing. I hope this should be clear. I'm going to add one last example, then that should be it for the. I'm going to also give you some exercises to do to help sharpen the skills also. So don't worry. All right. Please, I made mention earlier that you guys should refrain from asking anything exams related here, please. We are here to teach. You are not here to solve exams questions or anything. So please, as much as possible, please do want to avoid asking the exams question. You can get if you want the past question. I think the school library has past question. So you just go there, you pick up the past question from the library, then go and answer that. Or somebody can just pick your friends. Some of them they have it. You share it on the page. Everybody gets it. Thank you. This are we clear? Are we clear with this example? Are we clear? So let me. Should I add one more example? All right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So let me. Right. I think we have done to print from what? We have done to print from 1 to 5. We have done the count now. We have done how to take. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's write a C++ program, right? Using the do while loop. That is going to ask a user, right, to input. Let me write the question here. Simple question. Ask user to input a number, right? Let's say between 1 and 1 and 10. So let's say between 1 to 10. And if the input is invalid, it should ask if input is invalid, it should ask Let's click it. All right. Now what we are going to do is basically just going to write a simple C++ program, right? That is going to ask a user to enter an input, right, between or 1 and 0, right? And then if the input is invalid, it's going to ask the user to enter that number again. Good. All right. People said, let me put it. People are saying yes, yes. It's not a poll. This one is not come. Do not come anywhere. Okay, just for your own view, just for you to learn. A minute, please. All right. So let's. Sorry. Thank you very much. Good time. Okay, don't go. Yes. They should subscribe. Subscribe to the link. Like and share. Subscribe. Share the link. Subscribe. All right. Back again. So this is basically the problem that we are trying to solve here. We are trying to write a C++ program, right? That is going to ask a user to enter a number between 1 and 10. And if the number falls between 1 and 10, the program is going to ask us to enter a number. I'm sorry. A minute, please. A minute. All right. Thank you very much. Back. So basically, this program is going to ask a user to enter what? A number. And if the number is between 1 and 10, it's silent. It's going to accept it and stop executing. But if the number is not valid or not specified or within the specified range, it's going to ask us to enter another number again. I hope you get the question. All right, so let's try to do that. So let's say first you have to declare a number, right? So int num. Let's do num for here. All right. Then the next thing is what the do while loop. So the syntax is saying that you are supposed to enter what the do first. Then after the do, the bracket, the curly bracket comes, right? That is where the action is, right? So you say do see out let's say enter a number 1 2 10. Let me do this. A number between 1 to 10. All right. So then we come here. Let's can we this time? Let's come here. Then we say C number, right? As a C number. Okay. Now let me close this here. Oh, let me close it there. Now we have brought the action here. So let's bring the condition. So while number is so let me do this. Well, and the parenthesis. Now this time around, we are going to use something. You are going to use what we call the logical or. Okay. In your early elementary mathematics, I believe that you all have knowledge of this. When we say Kofi and Amma should come, it means that both conditions must be true. Kofi must be present and Amma should be present. Let's say Kofi and Amma should come before we serve the rice. It means that Kofi and Amma should be there before the rice should be served. Now, when we have something like Kofi or Amma should come, now with that, what is happening? Basically, what is happening is that the moment one of them comes, we are going to share the rice. Are you getting it? So that is basically the ors and the ends. And in C++, we call this operators, we call them the logical or and the logical end. So with the logical or the or that we know in our normal English terms, we just have to bring this straight to two lines. Where is that one? So this two lines of bringing this straight pass is basically used to represent what or. And then if I want to do end, I have to do this. So this two represents the or and then the end in programming. Okay, so here our program is stating that, or what we are requiring from our program is that the program should should take a number that is what how do you call it between 1 and or 10, and then if the number entered by the user is not within that range, the program should ask again. So how do we represent that? So you can just say while number is less than what 1, or number is greater than 10. Now, what is going to basically happen here is that when we compile and run this program here, let me do this here. The program is all right. So as you can see here, the program is asking us to enter a number between what 1 and on what. The moment I enter 99, it's asking me to enter another number again. Then I enter 33, it's asking me to enter another number again. 24, enter number. Why? Because the condition stated here is that the program or the number, right, that should be entered should be between what 1 and 10. And if any number here, that's the condition. If the number is less than what 1 or the number is greater than 10, it should ask us to enter another number until we enter a number that is within 1 and then 10. That is when the program will stop. So when I enter 9 here, the program stops executing. It's done executing. Please, do we get this? Do we get this example? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Please, are we okay with this example? When I enter 9, it meets the requirement, right? So it's done. Okay. Now let's have our last example. Now, our last example is going to be a C++ program, right? That is going to calculate the sum of numbers from what? from 1 to 10. Are we good? It's going to calculate. Let me just do 1 to 5. Okay, it's going to calculate. It's going to sum up numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is going to do that for us. Instead of writing a program that is going to say sum, let's say 1 plus, let's say sum first I is equal to 1, I is, you're just going to use what, a loop just to basically illustrate that. Or the examples are okay. I could end there, and then we go to for loop. Okay. But I hope everybody is clear with. I'm going to share some exercises with you so that you all practice. Anybody that wants to do the extra learning or sharpen their skills more. I always say this practice is going to make you perfect. If you learn and you don't practice, in less than 48 hours, you forgot. What's happening? What's happening? All right, so if you learn and you don't practice in less than 48 hours, you forget it, and then you would have to come back again, right? So the best way for you is that once you learn, you don't need 70 hours. You just need 10, 20 minutes in a day to practice what you learn. And then you sharpen your skill more. It helps you think in different ways. But if it's just that one thing that you have, you would not be able to. Yes, the video will be available after the session. You come and then you rest or you are going to but you have to come back and come and learn what you've already learned again, which is a waste of time. The video will be available, okay, after the session. It's going to be on the, so if you want to watch, you can just come back and come and watch it. All right. So let's look at the last type of loop, right? The last type of loop is what we call the for loop, right? The for loop. All right. Now, if you basically know now for the for loop, okay. The thing with the for loop is that we mostly tend to use the for loop at times when we know the number of times that we want our program to run. That is when we tend to use the for loop. Okay, so it is advisable that if you know how many times you want your program to run, use the for loop instead of what the while loop. All right. Now with the for loop, the syntax for the for loop is saying that you first have to bring the keyword for, right? After the for, the first statement will come. Statement. Let me just do state one. We terminate it without the semicolon, then followed by our statement 2. So state 2. Terminate without a semicolon, then followed by the last state 3. That one is not terminated using a semicolon. Then after that, your condition will come here, or let's say, sorry, your action code will come here in this bracket. So what is going to happen is that now when I run this for loop here, the first statement 1 will be executed, right, one time, right? Then the statement 2 will basically, what happens in the statement 2 is that it defines, most of the times, you see, for the while loop, you won't have while the condition. So for the for loop, the condition is mostly with what the statement 2, right? And then the statement 3 would basically be executed every time after the code has been executed, or the code block has been executed. So statement 1 executes, statement 2 executes, then it comes here. This executes. After this gets executed, then the statement 3 will also get executed. So let's look at a simple example here. I think that one should explain more for us. So we are using the for loop to print out numbers from what? 0 to what? To 4, right? So the sentence is saying that we should enter or we should key in the keyword 4 first, right? Then followed by the parenthesis. In the parenthesis, you're going to have the statement 1. So let's say the statement 1 can have something like a declaration. So int I, let's say int A is equal to 0, right? That is it for the statement 1. And the statement 2, we are saying that mostly holds for the condition. So I less than what? 5. Then statement 3, we can do something like I, or let's say A plus plus, any of them. Okay, so I used A, so let me change it again. Now we close the bracket. Now the action is going to come in. The action, we can say what? C out I. And we can bring the end line here. All right. This is basically N9. I think I've not used it. So you can, they are the same thing. This and then N line, they represent the same thing. So you can either do this or you can just come and type N line here. Okay, they do the same thing. All right. So what is going to happen when we execute this code that we have here is that first we have our initial statement here, 4, right? So for int A is equal to what? 0, right? So what is going to happen here is that the first statement is basically an initialized variable with a value, right? So instead of having it outside here, we have it inside here. The second statement checks for the condition A less than 5. Now after the second statement gets checked, it jumps here, executes this, then comes to perform the third statement. Hey, sorry, I, yeah, thank you very much. The I and the A's are confusing me, so thank you. All right, so what happens here is that I'm explaining once again. For the for loop, right? You mostly usually want to know the number of times that you want your program to run, right? Or you want your loop to keep on iterating. Right? And then we have for the for loop, the syntax is saying that in the for loop, you should have what? 3 statements, right? The first statement being what? Your initialization. In this scenario, you have our initialization here. And then here we declared we initialize the variable A and assign it to a value of 0. The variable is of type of integer, right? The second one holds the condition. That is the statement 2, the condition that is to be checked for. And then the third one is what? The whatever should happen, right? If this code gets run. Right. So what is going to happen here is that when you compile and execute this code, it's going to come here, execute this, then come here, come and execute this. Then after it's done with this, it will come and do this. I hope you are getting. Let me compile and run this here. Let's have it and see. Okay. Let me put this here. Now what is basically happening here is that what is the current initialized value of A? 0, right? Is A less than 5? Yes, it means the condition is true, right? Then it comes to execute the C out A, so it sees out A, which is 0. Then after that, it comes to execute the third statement here, which is what? A plus plus. So it executes this, then it comes back here again. Now A plus plus means what? It's a post increment or operator, meaning that we should add what? A value of 1 to what? To A, right? So it adds 1 to A, making A what? 1 now, right? So it comes again. Is A less than 5? Yes or no? If yes, good, the condition is true. Then it comes to execute this, which is A is what? 1, right? Then it comes here, comes to add another value to A again. 1, that is 1, a value 1 to A again, making A what? 2. So is A less than 5? Yes, because 2 is less than 5. Then it comes to execute this again. Then comes back here again to add another value. This one gets executed. So the third statement gets executed after this, and then this gets executed. So this runs one time, After this runs one time, this will get executed, this will get executed, and this will come and get executed. Then this it will come back here again. This will get executed, this will get executed, this will come and get executed. So this one, the first statement runs just one time. Then the second one is going to run. That is a condition. After the second one runs, the body of the code or the block of statement or the action to be done gets executed. Then it comes here. The third statement here then gets executed. After that, we come back here again. We come and check the condition. We come and execute. Then we come back. Are we getting the concept of the for loop now? Are we good? Are we good? Hello, class. Are we good? Kindly let me know in the comment section so that I can proceed. Okay. All right. So the last thing that we are going to look at is iris, right? Then we should be done for the day. What do you think? Should we continue the iris or we should postpone it? Should we continue? Okay. All right. All right. All right. So okay, so we can proceed. All right. Okay, so how do you know which loop to use when given the problem or question? Okay. All right. So Enoch. So with before we started with the loops, I basically defined, or before I taught any of the loops, I taught or I exposed this on when to use each of the loops. Now for the for loop, you mostly like to use the for loop when you know the number of exact times or the number of iterations that should be done. So if you know the number of iterations, the number of times that your program is to be running, it is best to use the for loop. Okay, and then also with the while loop. Okay, if the number of iteration is to be determined by a condition. Okay, so the number of times that is supposed to be run, if it's dependent on a condition being existing, that is when you go forward the while loop. Okay, and then the do while loop, right? We mostly go for the do while loop when we when the loop I'll put it this way, when the program needs to be executed at least once before a condition is checked. That is when you go for the do while loop. So for the for loop, you must know the number of times that your program will run. If you know the number of times that you want your program to run, it's best to use the for loop. For the while loop, if the program is supposed to be executed based on a certain condition, okay, you use for the while loop. And for the do while loop, if you want the action to be done once before a condition is checked, you go in for what? The do while loop. Okay. Can you see my screen? Charles Forson, Shadow Tales. Oh, you can't all see my screen. Let me stop and let me share it again. Only blur. So you can see something by its blur. That is what you're trying to say, right? Blank or blur, please. Could you come clear? Nothing. Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Stop sharing. Is it clear now? Can you all see my screen? All right. Thank you very much. So I think let's do a little on them arrays and then we can call it a day. There are videos on the channel explaining this in detail, but I wanted to also live demonstrate to also help some of you clarify certain doubts. Okay. So let's deal with arrays and then we can call it a day. All right. So when we say arrays, okay, arrays are basically a way of storing multiple values in one single variable. Okay. So let's say you have been asked to write a program that is going to store the names of students. You can't come and then you can do that, but it's going to be time wasting. Imagine you have to come and say, let's say string, let's say student one. Then you come and say, let's say Kofi James. Then you end this. Then you come and say string student two, student two. Then you come and say, let's say Yao, whatever that you have. Then string student three. It's going to be very, very tedious, right? So one way that we used to store multiple um, um, variables or multiple values, right, in one single variable is by using an array, right? So with the array is supposed to store data of the same type. Okay. So the concept of array here is that let me get a PowerPoint to help explain that a little better. Then proceed. Right. So instead of having to create so let's say you want to, instead of doing this student one, um, student two, student three, instead of having to create all of these ones different, an array allows you to what, to store, instead of having to have them differently. It's like one box. We are packing everything inside. So there are spaces for a lot of people. So an array is like a word group. Okay, it's allowing you to keep different clothings, right? Instead of having to buy one word group for this, for this, for this, for this, for this. Enoch, I'll address your problem. Okay, let me finish explaining our resident. I'll address your problem for you. If I don't, remind me quite close. So an array is basically helping you, or it's acting as a form of word group. In a real world scenario, I can say a word group that allows you to store multiple personal stuffs, right? So you don't have to buy a small this, let's say small something to keep your clothes, small something to keep your shoes, small something to keep, let's say, your mirrors and all those stuffs inside. And now it's acting as a bigger wardrobe, allowing you to store multiple stuff so that anytime you want to access them, you just come inside and then access them. Are we good? Are we okay with the definition of an array? So, in simple terms, you can say that arrays are used to store what multiple values in a single variable. Okay. So, in order to declare an array, right, or in order to initialize an array, we have to follow the same rules that we follow when we are creating what variables. What are the rules? The rules are saying that we must first indicate what the data type. Data type followed by the name of the variable. So name of the array, name of array, name of array, and the last is what? A square box, right? And then in this square box, you are going to have the number of things that you want to go into the array. If I put 4 stars here, it means that the number of names or the number of values that can go into the array is what? 4. So a typical example is I want to create an array, right? An array that is going to save the names of students. And the rule is saying that just as we create variables, it's the same approach for arrays. So I just say let's say string, because their names are strings. I can just say string and the name of the array, let's say names. Then the number of elements that you want to go into the array. So let me do this here. So let's say we want an array that is going to keep 4 names, right? So with this, we have basically declared an array. Now, if you want to initialize that, when you say initialization, I believe you all understand where you assign values to the variable on the spot when you create it. So if you want to initialize, you then come here. Then what do? We bring the curly brackets here. Then the names. So let's say Kofi. Let me do this here. Names. Okay. Now, what has basically happened here is that we have created an array, right? And then what is the array doing? The array is saving or storing names of what? About four students or whatever that we have, right? And then arrays basically arrays tend to store data about the same type, right? That is why we are having strings. At the moment I bring an integer here or I bring a boolean here, there's going to be an error. You get it? Because the type of the array here is what? It's a string. All right. So I hope you're all okay up to this point. Anybody with any problem before I move to the next step? Anyone? Let me know in the comment section before I move to the next step. Before you move to accessing arrays, elements in arrays. So anyone with any problem, kindly let me know. Anyone? Please, if you're okay, just let me know if you're okay. If I'm going to continue, just give me a thumbs up or just say continue so that I can continue from there. Okay, just give me a thumbs up or something. Yes, that's all for declaring an array. So if you want to declare an array, just type the type of the array, the data type of the array, the name of the array, and then the square brackets, the square one, just to keep the number of, or just to indicate the number of elements that should go in the array. That is it. And if you want to initialize, you bring the curly bracket and then put the elements inside. That is it. Right, so I can proceed. Why? All right. So we are done with declaring an array. Now this time we are going to look at how to access. Oh, when I run it, nothing will happen. To just save the array as it is. So when I compile, let me run and see. Let me run for you to see. When I compile and run this, basically I've not asked it to do anything. It's just going to. Oh, I have not entered this. Let me see. So this is basically what will happen. Nothing will come because I've not done anything to it. So you see, nothing is coming until probably when I do some see out. That is when. So here you have declared an array, right? So if I come here and I come and say, let me see out the elements of the array, and then let's see. Let me try to just say see out names and even access single elements. This is given. Oh, right. This is. Oh, second, please. So now, when I say see out, now in arrays, okay, before we go to access an arrays, we call something element. Okay, elements are basically whatever thing that you have stored in what in your array. Are we good? So in arrays, elements are indexed from 0 going. Okay, so this one, how many elements did we say? We specified 4, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you want to access the first element, how to access is that the first element is indexed as what? 0. Okay, so anytime I enter element 0 or the element in the 0 is going to give me what? Kofi, as you can see here. If I enter element indexed James, it's going to what? Give me if I enter element index 1, it's going to give me what? James. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is index 3. But you know we have what? 4 elements. But instead of being index 1, 2, 3, 4, it's been index of 0, 1, 2, 3. Are we okay with the concept of indexing? Are we okay? Are we okay? Let me know in the comment box. Anyone still not before you move on to the next thing, you must understand this stuff. So let me know if you don't understand. Then I repeat it and then we go to go. I need over 10 people. If you're all good to go, then I follow. Are we good? Okay, who said no? Which one? Can you come clear? Okay, you let me explain. So let me come from the first one. Okay, all right. So arrays, we said that arrays are basically a way of storing multiple values in one variable, right? So the name of in this scenario, you have a variable named what? The names. The name of the variable is what? Names. And then the variable has what? Multiple values in them. Are we good? So that is it for arrays. Arrays helps you store what? Multiple values in a single variable. Now, the next thing you are looking at is what? Indexing or element in an array. When we say an element in an array, all that we are trying to say is that these stuffs or whatever values that you have stored in an array, we call them what? Elements. Okay. So James is an element of the array of names. Kofi is an element of the array of names. K is an element of the array of names. Danny is an element of the array of names. All right, now the next thing is what we call indexing. Indexing in an array basically means identifying spaces or whatever. Let's say, let me use your wardrobe for example. When you open your wardrobe, you know where you have placed, or you know where to look for your pomade, you know where to look for your shirts, you know where to look for your trousers, you know where to look for white tops. So that is what a form of indexing. You know where you have placed them. And then we are saying that in arrays, in order to access the elements, or in order to be able to access the elements that we have here in an array, we use what we call indexing. So here, this array, we can see here that you said that when you declare an array, you use the square box to declare the number of elements that you want to go into the array. Here, what do we have here? We have an array, we have declared what? 4. So we have what? 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we declare 5, it means that the arrays, the element in the array is supposed to be what? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please go where, please go. Please, let's follow. Let's follow. I'm going over again. I'm starting. So please, let's follow one last time because of the recent mess. I'm starting from the top again. All right. So arrays, we said what helps you store what multiple values in what a variable. So a typical example is like your wardrobe. In your wardrobe, you have clothing inside, you have shoes, you have your pomades, you have whatever you can have inside it. Instead of having to buy small boxes or small tables to put all of these things inside differently, one wardrobe is solving all the problem. So that is the same concept that we are applying in arrays here. So basically what is happening is that we are storing multiple values in one variable. So a typical example is what we have here. We have what? We have declared or we have initialized an array called what? Names. Well, what's the name of the array? Names of type what? String. So the array is supposed to keep what? Strings. And then here, we use this to declare what? The number of elements that should go into the array. And then here we have declared what? 4 elements, meaning that in this array or in this word group, only 4 stuffs can go inside. And then here we are dealing with names. So we have what? Let me push it here for you to see. So we have what? Kofi, James, K, and Danny, which are 4 elements matching up to what we have here. So in this array, the number of elements inside are 4. We declare that here. And then the number of elements are Kofi, James, K, and Danny. I hope that is clear before I move to the indexing. I hope everybody is okay with the elements. Henry, Prince, Lawrence. Okay, no, so Lawrence said Lawrence is okay. So which one? Are you okay up to this point? So I continue. All right. Thank you. So now the next we are moving on is what we call what? Accessing elements in an array. Okay. Okay. So in order to access an element in an array, we use what we call the index. A typical example is when I come to real world scenario, when I come to the school system, in order to get your name, I will need your index number, something that uniquely identifies you in the school system. So that the same goes for arrays. In order to access the element in an array, you need what we call their index. Index is kind of like a location that is only din for that element. It's like this space is for just this one. So anytime I'm calling this index, or anytime I'm calling this number, it is this person's name that is supposed to appear. So in arrays, you see we have 4 elements here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I want to access the first element, instead of saying 1, in arrays we start indexing from 0. So if I want to access the first element, Kofi, I have to say what? See out. What is the name of the array? Names, right? Then the index will come. So here it's supposed to be in what? In the square bracket. So if I enter names and I bring what? 0 here, it's going to give me what? Kofi, as we can see here. If I change this, let me change this, and let me enter index 3. Index 3 is going to be what? 0, 1, 2, 3, which is what? Danny. So if I compile and run, let me compile and run and that's it. All right. So if I'm to compile and run this, you can see that element 3 or so, sorry, index 3 is what? Danny. Are you getting it? So the index in arrays, instead of saying that Kofi is 1, 2, 3, we say that Kofi is what? 0. So we have here 0, 1, 2, and 3. Together, they are what? 4 elements. But in order to access them, the indexes are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3 till we meet whatever that whatever size or whatever thing that we size or element that we specify the array to carry. Are we good? Richmond, are you okay? Are you okay up to this point? Richmond, who again? Henry, are you okay? Prince, are you okay? Kindly let me know in the comment section so I can continue. Please, are we good? Let me know so I can continue, please. All right. So now I believe that you all understand arrays, how to initialize or declare an array, and even how to see out elements or access elements in an array. Now, one thing about an array that we should also look at before we go is that you can actually change the value of an index in an array. So here, let's say, what is index 0? Index 0 is what? Kofi. We can change Kofi to a different name. How do we do that? We just have to come here, any space. Let me just use this for now. And then we just type the name of the array. What is the name of the array? The array that we have here is what? Names, right? So when you have, yes, it's going to create, so you have to indicate that. And then one simple way of doing that is, I said that the advantage of what? Loops, right? Is basically to help you repeat this stuff. Basically to help. So we can use a loops to input arrays. So the 50, I think what? 5,700, right? No. We are not limited to a number. So your limitation comes from when you are declaring this. You can see this here. So if I enter 1,000 here, it means that the array is supposed to take 1,000 elements. Are you getting it? If I enter 4,000, means that the array is supposed to take 4,000 elements of what type strings. And then with the arrays, you can't mix string. I said that just as in data types you can't mix what strings with what integers. So if you are declaring an array of integers, integers. If you are declaring an array of strings, strings. So if I do 1,000 here, basically what it implies is that this array has the capability or capacity to take in what 1,000 elements or 10,000. So the number here is what is going to limit the number of elements that go here. So whatever number that you declare here, whilst initializing or creating your array, is going to be the limitation to what or the number of elements that your arrays can have. Are we good, MFR? MFR, are we good? Are we good? So that I can proceed with changing the elements. Are we good? All right. So let's come back here. Okay, so let's if I'm waiting for you. So I can proceed, please. Okay, let's proceed. When she comes, she let us know. All right. So as I was mentioning, we can actually change the elements in an array, right? So here, the first element, this element is what Kofi, right? In this what 0. We can actually change Kofi to another name. How do you do that? You just have to enter what the name of what the array. What is the name of the array? The name of this array is what names, right? Then the index that you want the new thing to go, or the new name or the new element to go. So let's say you want to change where Kofi is. You want to change it. So you bring the square bracket here. Then we enter, let's say 0. Now 0 is what? Index what? 0. I believe that you understand this when I put 0. It means that we are referring to what? This index, right? And then the name, the new thing that you want to put there, let's say you want to change Kofi to MFA here. Now basically what has happened here is that the moment you compile and run this code, the value here, let me clear this first. The value here in Kofi has changed to what? MFA. So see, let me do C out. First do the C out names, and let's do brackets 0. Then after this code runs, let's also come here and C out names square bracket 0. Now let's see what. Let me end line here. Okay. Now let's compile and run this and let's see what happens here. Now see, here we can see that the value for index 0 is what? Kofi, right? So Kofi is what? Currently here. The same index. And then after, let me put this here. So here, Kofi is what? When you see out index 0, right? It's what? Kofi. So you can see it here. But we changed index 0, right, into what? MFA. Now when we see out index 0, instead of coming as Kofi as we had here, now index 0 is coming to MFA because what? We have changed the elements in the array. Are we good? Do we understand this, please? Are we okay? Let me know in the comment section. Are we all good? Let me know, please. Just thumbs up or something so that we proceed quickly. Let's apply some loop scenarios and then I'll leave you guys. I think we've spent about 2 hours already. So there's more to array size. There are lots you can do on arrays. Array size, you can make array size and all those things. Yeah, good. All right. Now, one thing that I want you to understand, okay, that there's okay. Let's use the loops. When you're done with the loops, and I will explain that so that it doesn't confuse you guys. All right. Now we have an array, right? An array of 4 elements. Now you can omit this. Now when you omit this, the compiler is going to understand that this array has just 4 elements. So when I compile and run this, you see that it's not giving me any error. So if you have a problem that is saying that you must declare an array of size for array of size that has the following values, or you initialize an array of this that has the following values. Basically, you could just omit the size of the array here and then just add the elements straight. So let me compile and run once again. A second, please. Let me put this here a second. Edward. Hello, Edward. Into Weba campus. Right, I'll come to campus. So around 3 o'clock, I'll come to campus and I'll check it out. Do you want more resource issues in there? Just power their name and everything. When I come, I deal with it for them. Bye. All right, sorry, class. I had to attend to a departmental issue, sir. I hope you cannot hear me now, right? I hope you cannot hear me, right? Can you all hear me? Okay. All right. Oh, so you go to the concept of data management. Don't worry. You get to understand all of this stuff. So you start doing data management systems. Hopefully next semester. Don't worry. Okay, Henry. But simply an array could basically just do that work. Okay, an array would be the best. But then we have when you understand the concept of data structures and algorithms and all, you are going to understand all of this. Okay, so don't worry, we get there. All right, so let's come back here. Let's wrap it up quickly. Let's go. So here we are going to have a simple example. We are going to use the for loop. Okay, we're just going to use the for loop to see out all of the elements in the array. So instead of what we did earlier, or instead of having to do see out array 1, see out array 2, are you getting it? Instead of having to go through all of those tasks, you're just going to use the for loop or a loop. Let me put it this way. So you're going to use the for loop to see out all the indexes in the arrays. How do we do that? So you said that basically we said that the loop helps you save time, right? So instead of coming to write see out, yes, the video will be available. The video will be online for you also, so that those of you who want to refer to, you can do that. Okay. Instead of saying see out names, Then you come and do names, one and all those stuff. Okay, instead of doing that, you have to, you can, and then come down, say see out name, index number 2 and all those stuff. You can make everything simple by using what? The for loop to see out the element in the array. How do you do that? You just have to type what? The for loop, right? The syntax is saying that for, right? Then the first thing is what? In the for loop, we learned that it has 3 statements, right? The first statement being the initializer. So you can say int. Let's use I, because most people like to use I for loops as a form of iteration point. So let's say I is equal to 0, right? And we know the number of times that we want to iterate in our loop, right? Which is what? 4. We are saying that we mostly like to use, or we mostly use the for loops if we know the number of times that we want our this thing to be running. And in this scenario, we have what? 4 elements here. Are we getting it? So we come here, let's say we say I less than 4, right? Then the test statement will come. I less than 4, sorry. And the test statement will come. The test statement, we can say I or plus plus. Then we come down here and we say the actions. I can say see out. And say I here, right? And say see out I here. And we do this, and we can add this. Okay, let me just introduce a space here. Okay, it's a string and a space here, and say and I can have the arrays, right? The arrays is sorry, the arrays is, let's say what is the name of arrays here? Names, right? So just names them. Oh, sorry, my keyboard. Right. So you can do n line here. Now let me. So basically, what is happening here is that we are using the for loop. Okay, we are using the for loop to basically see out all the elements in this array. Okay, so the moment I compile and run this, compile and run, let's wrap it up. What is happening? I have a runtime. Okay, I have not terminated the search thing. So as you can see here, please, you can see that now instead of writing C out names, then the index 0, and we have just used the for loop, right? To what? To basically execute the names of our arrays. Simply, you can just come here and just come and also say this. Let's do this. Names, see out names. This will also do the same thing for you. But this time around, it's just going to see out Kofi James, K, and Danny for you. Let me compile and run this and then let's see. Okay, so as you cannot see here, now we just use the for loop, right? To see out all the elements in the array. Simple. So what did we do? We said that we made mention earlier that we mostly like to use the for loop when the condition is that when we know the number of times that we want our equation to happen, right? So we declared here, we know that it's what 4 elements, right? We want to see out all the 4 elements, right? So we declare the for loop, the syntax saying that 4 followed by parenthesis statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, then the action will follow. So this one runs one time. So what is the current value of I? 0, right? I less than 4, 0 is less than 4, right? So what should happen? See out. Then we use what? We call the array here. And then we link this array to this loop here using what the statement or the variable in what the loop. That is our statement 1. So It's going to execute this one that is seeing out the first element. It will come again. Then they will come here, add one value to I, making I what? 1. So is I less than 4? Yes. Comes do this again. Is I less than, then same process will keep on happening until we have our element what outputted here. Please, do we get it? Are we okay? Please, are we okay? Hello, please, are we okay? Are we okay? Let me see. Time's up. Let me see if everybody's okay. Then we can call it a day. I think we've spent more time here. Okay, I'm seeing what loop type is best suited. We mostly like to use for loops for arrays. Why? Because we know the number of times that we want our iteration to happen, right? Because anytime you are declaring an array, you know the number of elements that we are giving to that. Because and then since you know the number of elements that you are giving to your array, you basically know the number of times that you want whatever execution to happen or come, right? So how do you do that? You just because you know the number of elements, you just bring in the for loop, because you're saying that the for loop, we mostly like to use the for loop when we know the number of times that we want an iteration to happen. Yeah. Are we good? Are we good? Benedict. Benedict, are we good? Hello, Benedict. You good? Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, share the link, Don't forget to like. Yes, Enoch. Let me scroll back to your question. The question about Enoch. Could you re-ask your question again? I'm trying to find it back. Enoch. Yes, Enoch. So the thing is that each of them have different syntax, right? A for loop has a different syntax and a while loop has a different syntax. You cannot use them to solve the same problem. Just that it is advised that when you know the number of times, because of complexity issues, okay, when you say complexity, you have the time and the space complexity, basically how fast your program is running. If I know that I'm going to press up 10 times, why don't I just indicate that 10 times? And why would I compare against a condition which is going to delay how fast my program is going to execute? Are you getting it? Are you here? So the loop that you choose to solve the problem is all on you. But if in an exam setting, if the no loop is indicated that use this loop, you can use any loop that you think will work for you. But if it has been restricted, if they are saying that, or if you have a problem that is saying that use this loop to solve it, basically you have to go for that loop. But if no loop was given, it was a general question, and then you feel like this is the best loop that will work well, you can go for that. Okay, so you can't use a for loop syntax for a while loop. No, you can't do that. Yeah, different loops. They all have different syntax. All right. So in the absence of anything, I think we can call it a day, right? Can call it a day for now. Have a nice day. Have a nice time. All the best in your examination, your upcoming examination. All the best. I wish you all the best. Learn hard, study hard, make the thing well, strike your GPA well. Yeah, and take good care of yourself also. If you take good care of your body will take good care of you. So take good care of yourselves. Watch yourselves. Have a nice, should I say, have a nice day or something, or enjoy your holidays, your exams. Take care. All right. So the video also be available. Those of you who want to come in. Yes, and subscribe. So, oh, thank you very much, my friend. Subscribe. Oh, subscribe. God bless you very much. And like and share the link. Subscribe. All right. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your exam time, your weekend, your weekday. Bye. I'm ending the stream. So you might have a just simple interactive session on Zoom also. Just about 10 minutes. Maybe another time. Okay. Bye. Yes, the video will still be available. It will still be online, so you can just visit it. I can't share my number here. If you want my number, you can just take it from your reps. Okay, your reps would help you with that. Okay. If you want my number, just take it from the rep. Thank you all very much. So bye bye. Enjoy your day. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, good morning. Yes, sir. Just you are not the one to call me on this. So please, you are not the one to call me on this. Just wait. Is the class reps work to go and get results for people? Is that is that your work? Is that your work as a class rep? Is that your work as a class rep? Good. So do your work. Let those who are supposed to do their work do their work. Okay. Meeting house, I'm not saying meeting house, but life is as simple as that. Mm. Let them go to do short. Oh, you are not supposed to do it. So are you supposed to work on results for them? Did you write the exams for them? Life is as simple as that. Won't mean you'll be a come. Do who? Focus on yourself. Let them go to those who are supposed to do that for them. Okay. Yes, I'm looking. Why? Anyway, Juma. Focus on let them go to the department. Who upload the results? Look at who been and go for team you. Must wait. Bye bye. Bye bye. Dear bye bye. Any bye bye. Bye bye. Now, where dear? No, you know what you But say, oh, health, you're good. You feel okay too. That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. So, you want to move beyond it too, and you do my wife. No problem. Uncle, dear, said, but your man, no one, on better too. All right. Bye bye. Bye bye. Momo class in Zimbabwe, then diploma computer science. So, better. All right. Bye bye.
Yeah, that's it. Let's see here. Ada wankwaje wa me kyerɛ adeɛ o afei na mede kyerɛ adeɛ online na mekyerɛ adeɛ meyɛ YouTube live ɛho yɛ biribiara nso yɛ bɔkɔɔ biribiara nso yɛ bɔkɔɔ yes akɔ adwuma na wɔ bi adwuma nti wote baase mu nate nyɛ kora mabrɛ mahunu nyinaa sisi mehu me kora ahu mekyɛ sɛ ɔsɛ ɛno nti na mahunu asisi mu yes madam daabi mfa no momfa ma metie ɔmo kae ɔmo yɛ kyɛ sɛ Mini book, I couldn't come in deal with the I mean, so much cool with this. So I make why? Maybe live streaming it though. It's here na maybe, but in Kolani be hunting still na make me keeping it active. Na media jiska. So na me try there online. Me try there online. Boy, boy. I say, that be more hard. Say me study desk. Study desk. Boy. I didn't go for much stress in that boy. Penny classes. Manual Freeman. I find attached and then a class list. Start with me sending email way. Before we have full compose. Boy yet. Boy. No, dear email ben I'm the sending boy. Mate, bye bye. Yamin count. Boy at gct.le.gh. Bye bye.
Alasira.
Senior.
Muna wewe ni ama.
Mo back here musanya mo atofia kwa. Na mo se na ko.
Oh, that is your one paper and the comment.
Me aso na me try you.
Ewe.
Nye online DCT for 100.
Ah, okay.
I'm your
Okay,
movie.
what try you?
Chale.
Maybe we last 2 weeks.
Chale.
It's oh,
I'm what is ano.
okay. Can I jump for campus?
I mean, yes, sure. And I'm person you go for and you more buying till I say me because.
Okay.
One day channel for me. Chale, was my we are at the comedian.
Okay, my dear.
That's the comedian.
Remember your boy channel.
Hey, sir.
I'm in the squad now.
Hey.
But the problem about Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, then you miss you. But then you remember miss you.
You
I miss you to this.
Oh, okay.
To the Vienna.
Okay.
Charlie Samisi can miss any mouse. Charlie Fair. Send a drop on the Yemen.
Okay,
Oh, number empty and all.
Charlie.
Send a drop on the Yemen, bro.
It's working at that time when I read that.
Let me say, Kiama this week increment. Why?
Okay.
Not pressure in a coffin.
Yeah,
Not pressure in a coffin, man.
Okay, my
To the beginning, I'm just sending you see, yes, Charlie. Send a pick up on, bro. With this day, bro.
Okay.
To the send you see. All right. Yes, sir.
And I'm impressed. I'm say, yes, and the man of prayer, one I want to say.
Oh, okay. Look, one more frame you by my team and Fanamo stage. It's me.
It's me, friend. And I'll put the only thing I said. Project Nam and the town was now I say a man will be by best starting next week in it. Then farmer and Sana say, the only like I said, we are doing better than
Matia, bro.
Okay.
Right. Zami? Charlie, now see the record. We have a body. Sure. Oh, Charlie Capra. Hey. Yeah, man, on the assume with me, Capra. Oh, Capra. Oh, one baby. Hey, oh, good as my gas is. It's going to be about 100% about.
Next week, we shall settle this anymore. Oh, so yeah, so they get a course to the study. What they get on Sunday. What they need is a yana go back. They get it all over the
We're sorry, communication like
what I'm on Friday. Almost a new, you know.
And I was telling them, because I was at home, catch up with time. Like, at least they should give us an update on the website. Actually, have this.
Oh, man, oh, good, you're there, Waffle. You are good. But I have a good friend at home. I'm going to put you up to go to come on. Yeah, that report the guidance on these matters. You told it, yeah. Yeah, I might be a 4 months in a year to us, yeah. Might be 4 months. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
$30,000 for the rest of my life. But daddy, what happened to you? I don't know. As a movie, one of the church, one of no, we need fight and back to this room. I don't know. Sorry, no, Manana, if you're not iPhone, a brief action for one film, I'm for me back. Me back, me head. One view, me back, really just me back. Hello. Hello. Yes, sir. Every what's up? I'm going to see the metro. The man, yeah, banana. May you call? I'm going back. Okay, my yeah, Bernard. You can't be a papa. But and I'm live streaming 2 hours so YouTube. Minyani pa 100. Now me try the over. Minyani pa 100, you know. 100 on the YouTube went to see me up. 300 that. 100 times. 100 times. What do you 100 times? 1 hour, I think. Mathematics, go. All right.